That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. It is indeed that time of the year again. The yearly tradition of it's time to stop the smirk. Okay? I don't like Stanford. I got an axe to grind, a rough history with them. Okay, all of it. So I've always had animus to Stanford, especially the last 10 or 15 years. The Andrew Luck, just Andrew Luck, all of it. Okay, all of it. So that's what this week is about. Stop the smirk. Okay, and we're going to talk about some details of that. And I'm struggling early this week to figure out what is fair and reasonable of me to expect. Coming back home against Stanford, they're down and out. We seem to be on the rise and have stabilized. I want to talk to you guys in the chat about what is reasonable to expect this Saturday at home. I don't want to get burned again. I don't want to get burned. We thought before, oh, you come home, you get Marshall at home. It's a chance to settle in. Not ultimate, not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. Didn't happen back then. We going to get burned again? Or are you safe to buy into this time and think we're going to put it together? That's some of the stuff I want to explore today. Phone lines are up. 312-900-8815. I got a couple phone calls already. 219-612. You're the first couple coming up. Phone lines are up. I want to know your thoughts on what is reasonably reasonable to expect out of this game. I also want to know if you feel, as I do, that Marcus Freeman is starting to settle in nicely and get his sea legs under him as head coach. I just feel that, and I want to know if you do too. And I've also seen this come up in social media with Notre Dame and other podcasters and stuff. The discussion of, did Marcus Freeman make the right or wrong call to go with Buckner to begin the year? I have seen that talked about, and it's very nuanced. I would love to know if you guys have any thoughts about that as well. So let's get into the introduction and then our roll call. I got to holler at all the morning people that are here. 4802, you're up. Okay, first three, 219-612-480. I want to know what you guys think. So obviously, you could find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. Helps in the algorithm. Notifications on. That way, you'll be alerted every time a new episode drops. You don't want to miss it. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat. Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishindy@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want me, you can get me, except for it's a lie on these because it's too long to convert to MP3. So unfortunately, if you want this program, you're either going to have to look at my face or just put it on YouTube and turn it upside down and listen to it. I don't blame you if you do that. I really don't. Okay. I get it. Okay. First things first, we have weird weather coming through town, folks. And it's actually probably heading right to South Bend right now. You might be just about getting nailed. We're having some power, internet, cable, electricity issues around these parts. If you notice anything weird today, you got to let me know. And if I notice anything weird or this stream drops out of nowhere, know that it wasn't me. All right? We're having weird weather. I hear the sump pump in the other room going crazy. Welcome to fall in the Midwest, folks. Let's get to the roll call. Man, I love you regulars. You guys, it's just one happy family gathering for breakfast, and then Kent shows up. And then everybody, it's like, I don't know, do we like this guy or not? Here, you guys go at Kent every week. Here's what you need to understand. It's like, John, this Kent guy, he's an Ohio State troll. You got to get this guy out of here. You got to understand, I have a diehard fan of Ohio State that wants to come here every day and watch my show. That's my best friend. I want to be friends with Kent. I don't want to kick him off the program. I don't. Like, it's one thing to have the lunatic Notre Dame people that are like me. Oh, I got to every morning have my fix. It's totally different to have a guy who loves Ohio State but wants to be here every day. I want to like that guy. I want to invite him to the Notre Dame Ohio State game in South Bend next year is what I want to do. I want to be friends with the guy and meet the guy. All right, roll call. And then since we have some calls early, we're going to go to them. I'm not going to make you guys wait for me to do some monologue. Oh, Matt Miller, always good to see you. Deborah Thomas, good to see you as well. Mikey Poles, usually always here in the morning. I appreciate you. Kent's on a bye week. He's feeling good. He's relaxed about his Buckeyes. He could just sit back and take it all in this week and watch Notre Dame Stanford and just imagine how worked up I'm getting over everything. Kent, I really am. I was V1 rotate. Man, good morning. I love you guys. Chris Totten, the morning crew. You guys make the world go round. There is no show without that loyal group. Angela, good to see you. Calling me an old man. What does that make you? Chris, good to see you. Paul, $5 holler first thing in the morning. That's what I'm talking about. Take care of them phone lines. They got bills to pay at Always Irish. I watched Stanford play against USC and Oregon State yesterday. Stanford's much better than the record shows. Beware Notre Dame. I struggle with this, Paul. I struggle with this because, yes, they've had a tough schedule. Like, they opened with the toothpaste brand, and they got that win over Colgate. Congratulations. Big-time ball game to open the year against a bunch of toothpaste. What do you call them? The tubes of toothpaste. Then USC, Washington, Oregon is a rough run. Like, that's a legitimately rough run, especially if you're in the Pac-12. That's about as rough a run as you're ever going to get. I get that. And then the Oregon State was just a heartbreaker, an absolute heartbreaker. Like, winning until literally the last play of the game, and they throw up the ball, catch it, spin out of it on the sideline, score to stun you. So I agree that their schedule was a little tough there. USC, Washington, Oregon in a 3-week stretch is pretty brutal. The Oregon State thing's a backbreaker, and now you're 1-4, down and out. As down as you could possibly be. I don't understand how there's never any heat on David Shaw. Does Stanford just not care that they're dipping down anymore after having a while where they were competing with Notre Dame and getting good recruits we wanted? Like, is there no heat on him? Do they just not care about football or what? So I get that you got to be aware. They're also 1-4, and some of the statistical stuff with them is terrible. Terrible. I believe they are dead last in the country in turnover margin. They have 14 turnovers already. 14 turnovers already. They're dead last in the country there. They could only run it for 90 yards against Oregon State last week. They're averaging giving up, I think, 490 a game total yardage. You could run on them. You could pass on them. So I get that this is tricky because of their kind of who they played. But I also think 1-4 is 1-4 for a reason. And they're down and out, and you have a chance to drive a stake through their heart at your place. Your place. Take care of business. Angela, yeah, I used to have a nice head of hair. Thanks. I expect the defense to improve. That would be very welcome. Terry Moore, good morning. Thanks for being here. Connor Nepper, what's good? Always Irish Nation. That's what I'm talking about. Love that. V1, thanks for the donation, man. You're always good for a little phone coverage here. $1.99, simple. Beat the hell out of them. Telling you, I have no patience for that Shaw smirk. I don't. I think, you know what? A lot of people seem to forget, I think, sometimes. All right, John's catching a phone in 15. I'm putting him on now. Adam, you'll go next. 612. John, you're on the air.
Hey there, John.
Hey, I don't want to get federal flight violation, so make sure you get the call in before you were in the air there, buddy.
Well, I got my daughter's going to be here in 10 minutes to take me to Bozeman. So I figured I had to get in. I appreciate it.
No problem. What do you got this week, John?
Well, I got a BYU comment. First of all, Pine continues to amaze me. I just think the kid is he's a gamer. He's a gamer, and I think he's just going to get better. The thing that bothered me about BYU is we bottled up Hall so nicely in that first half, and then what the heck happened in the second half? They adjusted, we didn't, I guess.
Anyway,
I
agree with you. Right now, man, honestly, for somebody with Drew Pine's physical gifts and skill set, he is playing about as good as anyone could possibly ask. If you take away the batted ball, I cannot ask him to do anything more than what he did. He is playing terrific football, getting better week by week, and you love to see it. You want to root for him, and he's doing a great job.
He's just doing great. He's playing within himself, and he's just managing things so well, I think. So anyway, we'll see what he does against Stanford. This game scares me a bit. First of all, I'd like to see about a 17-point win, but I think back to 1990, we were heavy favorites, as I recall. Up to that time, every game I'd taken my daughters to, I made sure we were going to win. In the middle of this game, of course, Ricky Waters drops 3 punts. And my youngest daughter, who I think was about 15 then, she turns to me and says, "Dad, what's happening? Do something." I couldn't do a damn thing.
Yeah, it's like, what do you want me to do? Jump down there and yell? I like that, man. Hey, I like that she has the faith in her father that you have the control to just fix everything, John. You must have set a good precedent there. Dad could solve any problem.
I tried.
Dad could solve any problem, man. Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah. Anyway, why this scares me a little bit, gosh, I think we should beat these guys by at least 17 points. So.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Freeman.
Yeah.
Gosh, it's so tough to evaluate a head coach. You know, what do you do to put him on a ledger and say pro or con? I mean, you've got the coordinators that are doing most of the stuff. How are you going to evaluate them? You can't do it just by wins.
See, I struggled with that all summer, John, of how to process that. And I did a lot of shows in the summer where I asked, it's going to be hard to judge Freeman. And I said in the summer, 10-2 under Freeman this year, as an example, before the season. I said 10-2 under Freeman this year is not the same as 10-2 under Brian Kelly this year. They are vastly different, totally different worlds that you have to look at differently. And I agree with you. Just by record, 10-2, Kelly needed to get past that mark, or whatever. Do you just gauge it by improvement, John? Do you just look for the team to obviously get better week to week and look like a more smooth operation and put together? And is that the gauge? Is that a fair gauge? Just kind of a loose grading curve of seeing things tighten up and get better month by month. Is that a fair bar?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, let's take a look at how the team looks each week. Does it seem to be getting better? Is there more confidence? Are they opening things up? Are they playing better? So that to me is going to be the biggest key. So,
and you know what else, John? I was thinking about this yesterday. I was really thinking about this. Right now, Notre Dame has Drew Pine and Marcus Freeman as kind of the two, stars of the program right now. And they are both just guys everybody wants to see succeed. And everybody always wanted Brian Kelly to win, but it always felt like there was an undercurrent of, I want him to win, but I also don't love him, type of vibe. Right now, I wanted Kelly to do well, but underneath it, I didn't like him personally. So there was always that internal conflict. And now I don't have it. And even fans of other teams are saying to me, John, this Freeman guy, I don't like Notre Dame, but I just can't not like him. He's too genuine.
Yeah.
And that is
Yeah,
so
he is.
refreshing, John. It's so refreshing to have a guy that you feel like is so genuine. You just want him to do well.
I know. And that's what hurts when things don't go well. You know, you're just pulling for him so much. But I think you're a bad influence on my evil side.
What did I do?
That LSU game and just reveling in it.
Yeah. John, come to the dark side, baby. Like, it only took you a month of talking to me every week, and now you're on the dark side. Brian Kelly, LSU, must watch. I was sitting there. Oh, the full Polian, baby. The full Polian. All the special teams mistakes into my veins. I love it. I couldn't get enough, and I don't even feel bad about it, John. I don't regret it. I loved every minute of it. I loved every minute.
Well, that's what bothers me. I enjoyed the hell out of it, too.
No, don't let it bother you. Don't let it. He deserves it. After all he put us through, he deserves it, John. You told me you're 82. I'm 38, and I feel older than you.
Okay. My daughter's going to be here in a couple of minutes, but I got to leave you with something fun that I laid it in bed the other morning. I'm thinking about this. I used to host trivia at a bar restaurant in Minneapolis, and I look for quirky things, and I never did this one, but I love it. It was how many college nicknames can you come up with that don't end in S? Wow. And of course, we're one of them. But I started looking at our schedule, and I'm going to do a little rant here. Okay, we got trampled by the herd, but we don't want to be excommunicated by the cardinal. And certainly we don't want the orange to leave us red-faced, nor do we want to be scuttled by the midshipmen. We're playing 4 of those guys this year.
I'm telling you, John, every time you call, you come up with a new angle. I really appreciate it, man. I always wonder, what are you going to come up with next? And it's always something good.
Well, you're putting the pressure on me, though.
Well, I mean, I'm not making you call. You know, I didn't call you and make you go on the air.
I know. Well, and next week it's going to be really tough because I'm going to be in Arizona. That means I got to call you an hour earlier.
Oh, man, I don't want to make you get up extra early. Call me in the second half of the show. Give yourself an extra hour.
Well, we'll see how I do. I'm playing golf down there next Wednesday, so I'm going to be up chopping at the bit anyway.
Hey, don't, John, anyway, whatever you do. Hey, listen, I got some advice for you. Don't be hitting it in them jumping cholla cactuses and go in there. You get yourself a rattlesnake bite and some cacti, okay? Hit them straight.
That's right. They're still out. It's been a little warm down there, so.
Well, John, thanks for the call, man. You have a safe flight, and then get with me later in the week.
Okay, and I'll probably pick up the rest of the show when I get to the airport. I'll get you on my phone. So.
Beautiful, John. Safe travels, my friend. Safe travels.
Okay, thank you, sir.
See ya.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Man, I'm telling you what, I love that dude. That dude, all my grandparents are dead. That's going to be my new step-grandfather if he'll have me. I love that dude, man. Greg, man, thanks so much for the $9.99. 480. You're going to be coming up with the donation. 219-269 also coming up. Let's see. I wanted to get a couple things here. Ryan Smith. Good one. Can Freeman coach the White Sox? Don't even get me started. I am ignoring that baseball is even still going on and exists. I just ignore its existence. I'm so frustrated with what that organization has done, blowing what was supposed to be their winning window. That's all I'm going to say about it. I am beyond offended with what they've done in their winning window, allegedly. Craig, good to see you, man. You're probably on the road making some moves today. Good to see you. I'll see you in person Saturday. Nick Shepkowski, Fighting Irish Wire. Check it out. Nick's the managing editor. Good stuff. He doesn't let anything get by him and go to print that isn't good. Okay, check it out. USA Today, Fighting Irish Wire. Make it a part of your daily routine, folks. Check it out. All right, let's get back to the phones. 480, you're my hero. What's going on today?
My man John, how's it going?
Good morning. How are you? Where are you at with all this? This is a weird little in-between spot this week. How are you approaching this?
Well, I just finished reading the article that Notre Dame BlueandGold.com put up about what David Shaw had to say about Notre Dame and the rivalry and all that. He's still in La La Land and dreaming about 2012 and saying that, you know, that he basically got rigged and all that kind of stuff. You know, so that's a whole nother conversation.
Man, dude, do you realize I can't believe that was literally 10 years ago. I feel like it was 2 years ago. I was freezing my face off in that downpouring cold rain and wind all day. Happy to see that goal line stand and make it all worth it. Like, I can't believe it's been that long and that many years have gone by, but here we are.
I just think about Manti Te'o running off the field, man. Like, after that goal line stand, like, that's the only thing that came to mind when I read the article. Like, I remember it like yesterday, man. I was like pacing the floor, and I was still in college at the time, man. I was pacing the floor, and one of my dorm roommates was like laughing at me, like, Notre Dame's about to lose and all that kind of stuff, and he's like, y'all suck, and man, when we stopped them, I was just like gloating all day long.
Hey, man. Can I ask you a question? I just want your opinion on something. Why do you think that Stanford has taken a big dip? Like, for a while there, Shaw had it rolling. Even recruiting was pretty decent. They were landing a fair share of decent kids that could read and write. Like, and they've dipped recently. Why do you think that is? And is there heat on Shaw and I just don't know about it? Or does Stanford just not care? What's the deal?
Well, it's two different variables, I think. The first thing is Harbaugh really established Stanford in a good way before he took off. And I don't think Shaw really was able to come in and manage it the way that Harbaugh established Stanford in that winning type culture. Like, I think for him, it was probably too much for him going in, you know, to maintain over time. Maybe like in the first season or so, but like after that, I think with the way the culture is changing in college football now, with recruiting, with NIL and all that, I just think that, and you got to think, this is what I believe. Stanford really doesn't care about football. Like, they don't put the inference on football as much as we do at Notre Dame. Because to us, like, this football is like, it's championship or bust every year. For Stanford, it's like, I don't think that's the major concern for their institution. So they're not going to put as much energy and time and effort into trying to create some winning culture. Like, as long as like you can get to 500 by the end of the season, I guess that's like satisfying to them. But I don't think that they really care more about winning and trying to accompany championships in the Pac-12 and all that kind of stuff. So I just think that Shaw really is kind of a place where, because the school doesn't care about winning, he's not really on the hot seat in his mind, because he's like, well, they're not putting the pressure on me to win. So I can get what I can get and work what I can work with. And if we win, we win. If we don't, I don't think that he's got the pressure on him as would, you know, I mean, like Freeman has here at Notre Dame.
Yeah, it's just a different thing. It's just a different thing.
Two different variables. Right.
The other thing is, man,
that's where that comes down to.
Listen, a lot of these people that are like younger, I forget how old I am sometimes. If you're like in your early 20s watching this, you may not even remember that period of time where Stanford was a pain in the butt for Notre Dame not that long ago, where we couldn't beat them. They had Andrew Luck. They had those good running backs. Who was it? They had Love. Man. They had McCaffrey. And then they had those tight ends that were like 6. They had multiple tight ends that were like 6'6", and they would just box you out, and they could throw the ball up. Like, they always played physical, smart ball. Like, Stanford used to be a real grind for Notre Dame not that long ago. And I don't know if younger people remember that frustration of the other smart team beating us. That was my problem. That was my problem.
Absolutely,
if we're getting into a corner where we're not even the best of the smart schools, that's a real problem. And I didn't like that feel at all. And I never want to see it come back. So you need to stop the smirk and lay the smack down Saturday night.
Lay the smack down, man. I think, and here's the deal. Number one, let me say something else before I go to my point about the game. I enjoy listening to Dr. John come on the phone. I always look forward to when he calls because I'm looking forward to him talking about one of his memories at Notre Dame football. He has these like spectacular, intriguing memories of Notre Dame football that I don't think anybody else would even think about. But living that long and being able to have those kind of experiences, man, is just awesome.
Yeah, so it is, man. And you know what else? That dude is on the move. He said he's 82, and every week he's flying somewhere, going to the Notre Dame game. He's all over.
He's gonna be here with me in Arizona next week, man. Come and enjoy the good weather.
Yeah, there you go, man. But he's great. A guy like that, and he always emails me funny things. John, you got to think of it this way and think of it that way. But that's every fan base probably has that. But I love the blend. We got people from all different areas of the country, young, old, in the middle, you name it.
Right, absolutely.
Hey,
man.
Let me ask this.
Going to my point about the game.
Yeah, go ahead, and then I'm going to ask you a question, but you might cover what I was going to ask anyways.
So I was watching the game, the after dark game with Stanford and Oregon State, and what's crazy is, man, I had flipped the channel, and I was watching some of it. I flipped back, and it was a close, tight game, and I'm like, oh man, Stanford. Really, because what my mindset is like, if they win this game, this could somewhat be a trap game really for us, because they're going to come off a win like this and have motivation to come in and beat us in South Bend. And then when the Oregon State quarterback threw that pass to the wide receiver and he caught it between like two defenders and ran back and scored and they won the game, it was like, oh man, like what a letdown, because they had them in a situation they would have won that game if they had just stopped them on that play. But so in my mind, I'm like, the one thing I will say about Stanford is what you just alluded to, is that they are still big on the perimeter. They got big, tall wide receivers. They got that statue quarterback, Tanner McKee, that just, if he's like Jack Holmes, if you protect him good enough, he's going to get some. He's going to get some plays, because that's what he reminded me of when I watched him. Running back wise, they lost E.J. Smith, so that hurts their running game a little bit.
I think they got an Irish. They got an Irish quarterback here, don't they? Tanner McKee.
Oh,
that's a good old Irish name.
They got a legendary quarterback, Rick Myers' son.
Do they? I don't think I remembered that. Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, you cut out for a second there. Who's their running back now? Filkins. Is that right? Casey Filkins, I think, back now?
Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. They have. Yeah.
I got to ask. People are all saying in the comments, man, oh, you're underestimating Stanford. You're underestimating Stanford. How many 1-4 teams are there that are legitimately underestimated? Like, I'm not trying to be sarcastic, but if you're 1-4, is that not enough body of work? Or am I being an idiot by thinking you should be able to handle this team? The line was Notre Dame by 17 last night when I looked. You're at home. I mean, am I out of my mind?
I'm going to say this, John. We don't have this year is not the year to underestimate any team on it. I don't care who it is. Like I want to feel like how I felt, how I feel like we would go into, beat a team like UNLV or hell. I wanted to feel like that when we played Marshall. When I saw Marshall on schedule, I'm like, okay, man, we lost to Ohio State, but man, we're gonna come back and just put all our steam on Marshall, and that just didn't happen.
Yeah.
So at this point, we don't really have the strength or the wherewithal to underestimate any team on the schedule. And I'm gonna say something about Stanford. They're 1-4, but their record is not indicative of the kind of players that they have on that team. And we cannot go into this game being lackadaisical and overlooking this team, because they will sneak up on us and it'll be a fourth quarter come down to the wire matchup. And I really don't want that for this team after we've had two great games where we've gotten ahead. And, what I don't want is what we have to start working on this game and next game is we have to learn to start closing out games, man. We cannot continue to get up big scores and then we'll let a big chunk play come in and it brings the momentum back to the team. Where now we're like hoping that we can capitalize back on offense to keep the ball in possession so that we don't give them another shot. We got to learn to put these teams away, man. We get up 25-6 in the game, it's time to just put full throttle, man. It's not the time to just get laxed or start thinking okay, we're in a safe spot. We can't think like that. All four quarters needs to be full throttle, man. And that's my concern, going into these next 2 weeks is I hope that's the mindset. I hope that's what they're emphasizing in practice. I hope Reese is putting it in the minds of all these offensive players that look, when we get up, we need to keep putting it on. Defensively, we need to not allow any chunk plays to occur, because this is the kind of stuff, man, that if we let this happen against Clemson, I'm not sure that it's going to be just okay, we can let them get up 25-20, and then it's not going to go any further than that. A team like that will just keep climbing back. So that's my biggest thing, man, is watching Stanford. It's we cannot overlook them. We need to come in head first, man, and just put it up 17-0 first quarter. That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
And the defense is bad, man. The defense is bad. The offense is great though, but the defense for Stanford is not good.
Yeah. So, and listen, man, you are totally justified and fair of saying, who do we think we are? Have a little self-awareness. You can't overlook anybody. And I always have a little bit of Stanford scar tissue, remembering the frustration of the other smart school beating us. And I was never used to that. And so you're totally right. And when I actually recorded something I'm putting out tonight, the Stanford pregame, what I'm looking for. And that was one of the things on the list is both of the last couple ball games, Notre Dame had chances to totally put the game out of reach, lower my blood pressure, make my hair come back, all of that. And we didn't do it. So that is the next iteration of what this needs to grow into. But if you said to me, John, you're in a position where you just need to be glad if we can win this game at all, I cannot say that's unfair. I can't.
Yeah, I agree with that. I guess I'm starting to ask a little bit more than what I guess I can bargain for right now. But I really want to see us close out a game like we do in the first half. We need to play that same type of intensity in the second half. Like, it's got to be 60 full minutes. I want a complete game. 60 minutes of nonstop, full throttle, putting on a team to show that we have some dominance. Because, yeah, if people watch the entire game, they can see that we've had control over the majority of the game and all that. But the score, I want the score to be indicative of that also. I want it to be like, okay, Notre Dame just flat out dominated this team, 52-17 or whatever. Like,
yeah,
it's got to be something like that, man, to give, I feel, more than anything, even though the team has confidence, it just needs the extra boost of confidence to know, okay, we can go in and really put it on the team.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really looking for.
I feel like this offense is starting to take strides in the right direction week to week. But on the flip side, I can't have the defense feeling like they're sliding the other way on me week by week. Like, I need them both. It can't, we're not going to get further on the path if one part is doing better, but then the other part that was better falls back. I need that defense to be what we're used to, and then the offense keeps getting better. I can't have that defense start to slide back a little bit.
It's like
I
a
can't.
teeter-totter, man.
Yeah,
like
I can't do it.
The first week of the season, the position group that I thought was going to be the most concerned was the strength, and that was the secondary. And I'm like, if we can just get everything else intact, man, this is going to be a dominant team. Then when the offensive line starts clicking, Pine gets in and he's in a groove now, and we're getting other guys involved. Then the position group that was the strength is now becoming the question.
Man, it's frustrating.
So
it's so frustrating.
We got to level out, man.
Yeah. Let me ask this: how enjoyable is it to see Jaden Thomas emerge, make some big plays, show a little flash, a little swag, a little flair, and provide Pine another? Be what's becoming a reliable target besides Mayer and the running backs and Styles. I love his emergence. He plays with a little spark and swag that I like, that I think Notre Dame's lacked and needs. And I'm thrilled, and I want to see it continue this week. Feed him the ball.
Absolutely, man. I was really, really elated to see Jaden Thomas get involved. I think it was really important for him to get that confidence boost. Even though the ball was, underthrown, that's really a good showing of just his skill as and talent as a wide receiver to still make a play out of that, and get a touchdown. Then just like get involved. One of the things that I think we should do with Jaden Thomas is if we could really include Merriweather more in the game, man, like I would put him in the slot. I would put Jaden Thomas in the slot, man, and let him work the middle, because that's one area, if you watch, most of the plays are done, like that middle is open all the time, man. You put a guy like Jaden Thomas in the slot, man, and let him just work the middle, that opens up so much on the perimeter for a guy like Michael Mayer or Tobias, that type of height. You put a guy, just put those guys in, man. Put a 2 6'4" guys in and put Michael Mayer in, and see how the defense operates out there. It's like that just shows to me like that you're utilizing your personnel. And I want to see more of that down the road, man, because I feel that just creates great matchups for us and mismatches for defense.
Yeah. And then the other way,
Jaden Thomas.
The other way I look at this is like your knowns are your knowns. Like I feel like all three backs can contribute. You know what you're going to get out of Mayer. You like to think, Styles is pretty reliable when you get him the ball. I know kind of that those were expected to contribute and put up production. I'm loving seeing other guys now emerge. Like you need more options, and right. Thomas can be one. I don't know how to describe it, man. He plays with the confidence beyond his age and experience. And I think that you can't measure, but it matters a lot. And I see it in him, but I can't exactly describe it, but I know it when I see it. it's just a confidence beyond his years. And I think that helps when you're playing that position. You need that mentality. I'm a dog and I'm going to win this fight.
Man.
I'm a dog and I'm going to win this fight and I'm going to rip that ball from you and I'm going to score. That mentality I love and Notre Dame needs more of. I love it.
Absolutely, man. I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, I feel like it's important that we get another guy out there, in the wide receiver room that's really like taking on that dog mentality, man, because what it does is it's building confidence for others in that wide receiver room to say, and then he's young, man. I mean,
yep.
He's coming back.
And he's got a physical body, too. He's built, man. That dude is built. He ain't no rail like me. He's that built, dude is built.
Right. So, like, that's a huge plus factor for that wide receiver room, because if we got guys like that starting to make plays, that's just going to open up the portal, man, for other guys in that room to really start believing that they can go out and make plays like that too.
And here's where it gets really good. Here's where it gets really good. Let's say you run out the string of the rest of this year and these guys do emerge and then they become more reliable playmakers. That will have us feeling a little better overall. But what you need to also understand is by the time we hit that point, then you're going to get your reinforcements because they're pounding wide receiver recruiting hard in 23 and 24. This is not going to be an ongoing frustration 2 or 3 years from now. This is a temper.
Hey, Don, let me tell you something.
This is it. These guys are coming, man. They're coming.
Look, man. The 3-headed monsters coming in next year, man. I'm excited, man. That wide receiver room. I'm gonna say it like this: if it comes out like I feel like it will, man, we might have one of the best wide receivers, probably the top 3 or 4 in the country. The talent that's coming in these next couple of classes, if they stay in the class and come to Notre Dame, man, you talking about some game changers out there in that wide receiver room, man.
Yeah,
and all that's gonna do is that.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry.
What I like is
I was saying that
they can't. Here's what the biggest point of this discussion is. I like knowing right away, Freeman and Reese and Stuckey all knew, this room is a very big problem in recruiting, development, and retention. That is an 0 for 3 failure that we've been operating in. Those guys know it, and they're putting extra resources and time into shoring up that unit. That tells me they get it. It tells me they understand it. They're not sugarcoating it. They see what I see. They know it's not good enough. I can see them putting in the effort to get it where it needs to go. And that makes me feel a lot better. They get it, man. And they are trying to shore it up quickly. Man. They're trying to shore it up quickly. And I love that. I didn't feel that kind of urgency with the previous regime. I just didn't. Maybe it was there. Maybe it was there behind the scenes, but I never felt that urgency. The fact that I do now makes me feel a lot better, man. A lot better.
It was never there. It was never there, man. And we're seeing, unfortunately, the remnants of that, but also it exposes it by itself because of what he's doing in the bayou down there, getting, boat raced. So but that's I don't want to talk about him, man. He's a pass ball in my mind.
Good. We'll let it go.
But he's a pass ball in my mind, man. I'm excited about Notre Dame, man. I haven't been as excited, and I've been a fan since the late '90s.
Right.
I've seen all the turmoils and all that stuff as a kid, and going through the teenagers, seeing games that were exciting, and then seeing the letdowns, all that. But I can say for once, I feel really, really good, man, about the direction of this program. And Freeman is really setting in, as a coach. Like, I don't know if there's any other way to really learn how to be a head coach than Notre Dame. Like, the way he's learning on the job is probably the best on-the-job training you can get in the country right now, man.
Yeah, but but it's hard because you're doing all that under the biggest microscope and the biggest brand name in America. Like,
I know, man.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot. That's a lot.
It's a lot, but you know what? I what I'm ready to say here, but I'm kind of glad to a small inkling of me. Now I hate losing. Man. But a small inkling of me is kind of glad, in some degree, that this direction happened the way it did this season, because I feel like it really put a spark in Freeman and that staff, and to really understand the importance of winning.
Yep.
And really playing to the level that you need to play every week and not giving a letdown.
Yep.
No matter who is on the
That's
set.
a tough lesson to learn. That's a tough lesson to learn. But you're right, though. But you are right. Maybe that is like that moment of like, you need to wake up and you need to realize how much you need to cherish each one of these games and all of that, and losing to somebody of more talent than all of it. It's a tough learning curve. If we trend up the rest of the year, and then the worst thing that happened is in Freeman's first year, we lost one dumb game when the offensive line was a mess, quarterback got hurt, all that. People are going to get over it, because what's coming, I think, is going to excite us a lot. Brighter days are ahead, man. They really are.
Brighter days are ahead, John, and I'm going to leave it like this, man. You know, as a fan base, what's going to be the joy of all this is that we come out in the next couple of years of the national championship, we can go back to this season and we can say, man, think about how we felt after we lost to Marshall, and all the doubters and people that quit on the team, and fan bases that wanted Freeman gone and everything else, man. And then we're holding that trophy, you know, with all the hard work and dedication and everything that this program has put in, man. It's going to be worth it, man. You know, it's a process, man. But one thing I can say is the process that Freeman's going through right now, you know, and how he's recruiting relentlessly, man, and how he's constantly finding ways to challenge this team, challenge the staff. I appreciate him taking ownership for the things that the coaches need to be doing towards the players, and not, you know, trying to blame everything on the players like the previous guy would do, you know. Like, I'm glad he's taking ownership, man, and saying, look, we got to coach better. We got to get these guys. I'm not going to throw everything on these players, because it's our responsibility to make sure that they know what they're doing, so that there's no mix-up about what's going on the field, you know. So I appreciate that, man. And I'm going to say this, man, I'll get off the phone. I'm just excited, man, about where this season's headed. I have more confidence and boost in my spirit as a fan. I wear my Notre Dame hat proudly now. I was a little timid at first, you know, after the first couple of losses. And, you know, now I ran into like 3 or 4 Notre Dame guys yesterday and talked about where the direction is with this program. And, man, people are excited, man. You know, people are excited to see the trending upward. We just got to maintain, and I really hope, man, that we can get one of these wins against Clemson or USC, a top 10 win, man, that would really shore up this program in a way that we haven't seen in quite a while.
Yep.
You know, I think that's what we really need, man.
Yep, I agree with you. And the thing you mentioned, we'll wrap up with this, is for all the people that were here on this show, reading, listening to podcasts, suffering through like Marshall Week and the aftermath of that, all the people who didn't bail, but the people who sat there and took the negativity and tried to work through it and think about our way out of it and all that, everybody who endured all that, it's going to feel better for us when it does come around and we are good again and we win things that matter. The people who don't bail, but the people who sit there and take those bullets, feel that heat, feel that misery, when it all does come around, if it does, it's going to feel better for us because we are here through all of it. Didn't just bail and come back when it was good.
And I listened to your show. I heard a guy call your show and call it a piece of shit and all that kind of stuff. And I mean, I've heard it all, man. You know, I've seen some of the most outlandish things about, you know, the attacks against Coach Freeman and everything. And man, I just people that truly are Notre Dame guys and Notre Dame fans, that really want to see the success of this coach and this program, when things really do happen, it's just going to feel so much more meaningful, man, because we saw the building process. We saw the deconstruction of what was before and how he just established and built that up.
And the thing is, man, I keep saying this. There is a light at the end of the Freeman tunnel because of the changes he's making and the way he recruits that's so different than before. There is a light at the end of this there's a light at the end of this process that could end up with us having more upside than we were ever going to have before. That is what energizes me the most. I don't feel like it's a big circle into the same spot every year. There's actually a light at the end of this where it's going to pay off. And I didn't feel that before. And I gave that guy a lot of chances. Okay. A lot of chances. He didn't want to change. So the results were never going to change.
Absolutely.
This is different.
Absolutely,
you could feel this building, and I love it. I love your calls. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, John. No problem, John. No problem, man.
I appreciate you very much, man. Have a good day. Call me back later in the week.
We'll do, man. We'll do. Go Irish.
Go Irish. See ya. That's another good caller, regular, man. He always has stuff to think about. We're going to do 219 because he's been waiting a long time. 574 after that. After 219, I starred a whole bunch of comments that were good, but I need a little time to address them. So I starred them because I don't want to lose them. But I don't want to make people wait if they've been on the phone forever. 219, you're on the line.
Hey, John. How you doing?
What's going on, man? Hey, are you still hungover from Vegas or did you guys sober up? It's been a few days. You good?
Well, yeah. Today's the first day I'm actually feeling normal, to be honest with you.
You're on that Vegas, man.
No,
it's like time is an abstract concept there. You just keep going and you lose track of it. It's wild, the trap they set out there.
Oh, man, it was fun, man. It was a blast. If they ever do that trip again, any Irish fans that didn't get to go, I would definitely recommend going, man. It was an absolute blast.
Yeah, it looked like everybody had a great time. And the fact that we won certainly helped the morale as well. Let me ask you, man, Stanford's 1-4, seemed down and out, brutal loss last week. Is it wrong of us to assume we could take care of business handedly, or do you just think who are we to take anybody lightly?
I think it might be both. If we do what we should do, I think we should win easy, but we're still kind of building. We're still kind of building to where we're not there yet to just assume we would beat somebody by 17 to 20 points. I mean, the last two games, we should have won both those games by 20 plus, but we let teams back in the game.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, do I hear that rain that I just got hitting you now? Is that what I hear? Those storms? Is that hitting you?
Yeah.
Man, we got nailed earlier, and now it's all heading to you guys. You can have it all.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's raining good here for sure.
It's so
Northwest Indiana.
What do you make of Stanford taking a dip? They were really, really tough for us for a long time. Now they've kind of dipped. But if you're in my age range, you always remember what it was like to struggle against Stanford not that long ago. And it has me always on pause. Like, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to get out of them. I don't know what to make of it, but 1-4 at home with you trending up and feeling good, take care of business. Right?
Yeah, we should take care of business. I mean, as long as we don't run another dumb safety blitz again and give a huge chunk play, we should be all right, John?
Man, I'm really trying to fight the feeling that the offense is trending up and the defense is trending the other way. So it's going to average out to where we were to begin with. Like that, I'm not open to that. And the thing with the defense, man, is I don't think it's that far off from being what we want it to be. But little dumb things keep happening. They turn into big things.
Yep. It's just that we're not that good yet, I think. but we're getting better every week. That's where I have kind of a positive mindset. We're getting better, which tells me that they're really taking the coaching and they're really bought into Freeman. So I'm positive. I have a positive mindset that they're going to come out and they're going to play well, but we're just not good enough yet to just assume that we're going to blow somebody out.
Yeah, and I mean,
But
that's
I think we should.
the evidence suggests that. Like, you're not out of line. The evidence suggests that, and this is a team in the process of finding who they are and who they want to be and what they want to look like. And it's
And there's
just
something about this team that's like they're almost in. It's like everything's genuine, like you said earlier. Like the emotion, Freeman's emotion, the one. It's like the first couple of weeks were rough, but they're starting to really be enjoyable to watch because just all the emotion is real.
Yeah, it really has a different feel. And I take crap for this when I bring it up because it's not something you could measure or translate directly into a win-loss record. I just have a feeling, especially at Notre Dame, with how unique the dynamic and the culture is, this type of mentality, it has to wear off and be a good thing overall, even though I can't measure it. Just that genuineness, and everybody's on the same page. The culture's strong. They want to win for Pine. They want to win for Marcus. Like, it's really healthy, and that's going to pay off big time when we get rolling here in a few years.
Yeah, I agree. It looks like everything's going is upward. The previous regime, it almost, I don't know, it just seemed like forced, faked where we're with Marcus. It just seems like the kids are buying in. I mean, they could have easily just let this season go off the rails with that start.
And
they didn't.
Hey, you're right, though. I said for years under Kelly, the vibe felt awkward, almost forced, or faked, or like not intentionally faked, but it just came off as fraudulent. There was something wrong with that vibe. And it also
didn't feel like Notre Dame. Didn't feel like Notre Dame. Like us, our age, you know, if you're around 40 years old, as a kid, you remember going to Notre Dame with Lou, and it was like just the feeling of being at Notre Dame was just, and I feel like that's coming back.
Yeah. And well, a part of it is, let's just be honest, man. I don't really think Brian Kelly loved Notre Dame. And the coaches that have won at Notre Dame bought into having a genuine love and embracing all of it fully, including our lunatic selves, like embracing the whole thing. And the guys that really dove into the culture and let it take over are the ones who won the most at Notre Dame. And Brian Kelly looked at it as a job. I don't think he had that love. And I think it's important at Notre Dame, because Notre Dame's unique, that the head guy understands all that and gets it and embraces it, doesn't roll his eyes at it. This guy gets it. He gets it. And it's going to pay off. It has to make a positive difference, that vibe, at some point. It's going to.
Yeah, don't you think Marcus has talked more about Notre Dame in 9 months than Brian Kelly did in 12 years?
Yeah. And he always talks about it isn't about me. It's about this place, and it is about these players. Do you know what a difference in mentality that sets in the locker room to go at it that way? It's refreshing, and I love it, and it's going to pay off. It's just a matter of freaking when.
And they're getting better. So that shows that everyone's buying in. If they keep on getting better, and that's what you kind of alluded to with the last call, was I think with this season to be a success, we just have to look at it. Are they getting better every week?
Yeah.
And then next year and the year after, that's when we're really going to see, you know, this thing move forward.
Yeah. And
we've been waiting this long.
But dude, you're right.
More years, right?
You're right, though, because where this year, no matter how it was going to go, we knew there was going to be certain areas of the team that were lacking in depth or proven experience. Like it's no surprise the wide receiver room's been a struggle this year to any of us. But what you're looking for is, you know, the recruits are coming, but they're not going to be here this year. like you said, the best you could do is keep trending up through that struggle and then add in your good recruits, and you were already trending up without them. Like, that's where you marry the two, and this really takes off in about 2 years. You should be humming along there. Get yourself a quarterback to hitch your wagon to. Let's roll.
Yep, 100% agree. So let's get through this season. Let's keep on getting better every week, which I think we have been. We've been getting better every week, and still have a good season. But let's look towards the future. I really believe that Brian Kelly leaving might be the best thing that ever happened, because Marcus would have got hired somewhere else.
Oh, yeah. He would have been. Listen, my plan was, and by the way, we got a few more calls lined up. 574, you're going to be next. 707-269. I'll get y'all. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So hopefully we take care of business this week, John. If we come to play, which, and that's another thing Marcus has done. The Marshall game, they weren't ready to play, but the Ohio State game, that Vegas game could have been a very easy where they showed up not ready. They were ready to play. Yeah. And the North Carolina game, they showed up ready to play. The last guy, those kind of road games, almost always he was never ready to play.
Yep. Nope.
So,
the whole mentality's shifted and changed. And listen, I am still appreciative of Brian Kelly. He inherited a dumpster fire, built it back up to be respectable, did a lot of behind the scenes things early to get us back, in the real world of modern football a little bit. Kelly did a lot of good things, but we all knew, and so did he. He reached a level he was never going to get past at Notre Dame. I recognized it. So did he. And now we have a stable foundation to grow from. It's not perfect. I hate the way he recruited and developed key areas, but he didn't leave it in terrible spot. It's a really pretty decent roster, and Freeman's just going to take it to the next level. Give him 2 or 3 years. This roster is going to look way different.
Yep, definitely. So I'll get off, let you get some more callers, but hopefully I'm pretty confident we're going to show up ready to play.
Beautiful.
Saturday night,
I think so too, man. I think so too. So have a good day. Thanks for the call. Safe driving in this weather, man. Be safe out there.
Yep. All right, buddy. Maybe we'll see you Saturday.
You know what? Yeah, I'll be around. I got a few people to meet. I'll text you.
Okay.
Yep, I got your number off the caller thing. I'll text you, and then we'll meet up at some point. I'll be around early morning Saturday all day.
Okay, John. Go Irish.
Beautiful. Thank you, my friend. Go Irish. Kent Jackson, go recruit then. Go get better players. What do you think he's trying to do? What do you think he's trying to do? You think, Kent, you're just trying to get me worked up. What did you think? One off season, he was going to flip the roster? This isn't the SEC, Kent. You can't just go to the transfer portal and get 20 guys that can't read and write and bring them into Notre Dame to fill your gaps. It doesn't work that way here. It's more complicated than that. So give me a break, Kent. The guy is recruiting. You got to give him a year. You ain't even going to give him 1 year. Give me a break. All right, we're going to go 574. You're on the air, my friend. Good rainy morning.
Hello?
Hello.
How's it going, John?
It's going very well. How are you doing there? You're in South Bend. You getting some of that weather this morning?
Oh, I don't think we got the rain, but I know the rain is coming for Saturday, so that's all important.
Oh, gee, I didn't know that. I thought the weather was going to be decent when I looked earlier in the week. Is it going to be nasty? I better prepare for that.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be cold no matter what. I would bring a poncho and a jacket if you're coming to the game, if anyone's coming to the game, because they're going to run out of ponchos at the bookstore, and I work at the bookstore. I know that's going to happen.
Oh, boy. Well, I think I got a bunch from the other years I keep in my car. You never know with that South Bend weather. You got to prepare for everything.
Yeah, Lou Holt said, if you don't like the weather, wait about an hour. And that's pretty much South Bend, Indiana.
That's perfect. I've noticed it seems like you guys get whatever comes off that lake, you just get nailed with it. And it just grows over that lake and then you get nailed.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, we're not the worst spot. I hear Chesterton gets all the snow because they're on the south part of the lake and that wind dips south.
Yeah, that makes sense. So we're going to have to prepare for that. What do you make of this? It's been a little while since we talked. Do you feel like Notre Dame's trending up? Or you feeling like it's going in a good direction? I kind of do, and I want it to continue this week.
I think Notre Dame is doing better. It's just Notre Dame's got to be a four-quarter team. They can't let, like, at the end of the game, they can let BYU back in the game. They just have to learn how to put the game away early and just maintain the lead.
Yeah, and how much of that is, I've been thinking about this, is that just a part of the evolution of this new iteration of the Notre Dame program? Like learning to win together and put a team out of its misery? Like, how much of that is a process that grows over time and you have to work hard to develop the maturity to know when you're in a position to put the spike through somebody and end it? Like, I just wonder how much of that is a learning process, or are we just simply not good enough yet to expect that kind of result? What's the answer? I don't know.
I definitely think it's a learning process because if you look at how they play in high school football, it's completely different. I mean, most high schools, you have to play both sides of the football. So you have to really, so it's also like, they don't want to run like slant passes and stuff like that. It's almost a completely different sport in high school than college.
Yeah. And I don't know. It's tough because the last two games, I feel like Notre Dame could have won them by like 17 points each. Those could have been 2 to 3 score wins easy. At the same time, we lost to Marshall at home not that long ago. So who am I to ask for that level of extra blowout? You know, like I don't know. But I'm glad to see us trending in the right direction. What do you make of Drew Pine? He is doing about as good as any of us could ask. Do you agree?
I mean, I agree. I mean, for an undersized quarterback, to what he has done to score 40 points against North Carolina, I mean, you cannot ask more from a guy of that size and that stature to do what he's doing. I mean, you basically can't ask any better. I mean, that's the best he's probably going to ever get.
Yeah, it's very encouraging. He's a guy everybody wants to succeed. And you know what else? I guess Notre Dame's in a position where they should consider themselves darn lucky that the guy they went down with injury right away in the year, and that the backup is doing this well. Not everybody has that. So I think we're probably lucky that he is, this good at running this offense. And I want to see it continue this week. Keep getting better week by week.
Absolutely.
So what do you think happens against Stanford? Do you think Notre Dame wins by 2 or 3 scores? They opened as a 17-point favorite, I saw yesterday.
It depends on how Stanford comes out, to be honest. It's never usually about how Notre Dame comes out. If Stanford gets the ball, scores a touchdown, let's assume they get a stop in the first drive, then everyone's going to be all skeptical. I don't know about it. But if the Irish get a stop and just go up 14-0 early, I think Stanford will lie down. I mean, let's be honest. Stanford has not looked good. They're probably going to fire the coach if they lose this game. So,
hey,
it really just depends on how Stanford comes out.
Listen, they're 1-4, begging to be put out of their misery is the way I look at it. So horrible, brutal last play of the game loss Saturday night, late at night. Like just an awful dynamic to be going into a tough road environment in. And the fact that it's a night game will give Notre Dame a little more juice in South Bend. So I hope we can get it done. You got to get the win. That's always number one. But if you can pile it on and make it pretty, I'll feel even better. That's where I'm at.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like a lot of reason why a lot of people feel like this is going to be a blowout is the moment they get off that bus and it's 40 degrees and rainy, they're not going to want to play. They're from California.
That's another good point. If it really is going to be that nasty, that's another very good point. They don't like playing in that generally.
Yeah, look at what happened a few years ago during the Florida State game when Willie Tarjan tried to walk in here thinking they were going to win. They were acting all cool in the press conference, and they walked out in the cold and they got crushed because they weren't ready for the Midwest.
Yep. So I don't know. It's all pointing to some positive developments for Notre Dame. And I hope we see it. But thanks for the call. And don't work too hard in the bookstore there. Don't let them run you ragged.
Oh, it's not a big deal. I mean, it's a joy when we have all these customers because the rest of the year we're just empty at our bookstore.
Yeah, that does make sense. So you get kind of your big rush a handful of times a year. Well, hang in there and enjoy the ball game. We're going to get another win. I feel it.
Yeah, hopefully we can get another win.
Well, thanks for the call and have a good weekend.
Thank you for having me, John.
No problem. Take care now. Some of you guys in the chat are just too much. I see some of you. Some of you are too much. I see what you're doing. What did somebody say? Give me a go, Irish. I can only get that going certain times. It says, Kent, respectfully, bro, you a true clown, bro. Like, you just got to know Kent knows what he's doing. You can't let him win, Notre Dame guys. You got to know Kent's angles and roll with them. Oh, man, it's never not going to be the whole troll dynamic thing. But a guy who kind of likes my show genuinely, it's a great dynamic. I love it. We're going to go out to 707. Maybe if I can hit the button. 707, you're on the air. Good morning.
John.
What's going on?
Hey, man. Yeah, I had a couple things here
Certainly.
that I wanted to.
Oh, by the way, Quinn, you're up next. 269 next up, Quinn. I see you. Go ahead, my friend. What's on your mind? Clear out your notes.
All right. So, first off, I would like to say that what I appreciate from these past few games, John, is the discipline of our offensive line. We only had, I believe, one false start penalty in the last two games, I think. Well, I will say this, though. The minimalization of the penalties on both sides of the ball has been very encouraging.
Yeah, that BYU game. That BYU game was pretty clean. That BYU game was very clean overall for both sides, really. But that is, do you look at that as an indicator of good coaching and discipline and attention to detail and like all of those kind of nuanced things that coaches talk about? It seems like we're pretty good with that, and that's a great sign. I love that you picked up on that too.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's of course coaching, right? But the coaches aren't out there playing the game, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the players are also picking up on it and holding each other accountable. You know what I'm saying? Like in that North Carolina game, I remember when Blake Fisher, he had the first false start of the game, and he pointed to himself. You know, he was like, "My bad." You know, so it's like they're starting to take ownership.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's very, very encouraging. Now, I would like to see that on the other side of the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
especially with our secondary.
Man, listen, it's getting a little bit frustrating because you don't want to start feeling like the offense that we've always been begging to make strides makes them, and then the defense backslides a little bit, and you end up at a net neutral. That's not what we're going here for. But I I also feel like shoring up some of those big defensive lapses shouldn't be a huge undertaking. I feel like there's little things you could do assignment-wise or attention to detail that can eliminate that happening. So I'm encouraged that could be easily fixed. But I thought that coming out of the bye too, and then we saw it again after the bye. So that's what makes me nervous.
Right.
I hoped it could be cleaned up during the bye, but it didn't look like it totally was, and I don't like it.
Right. I agree. Let me ask you this. After this season, do you believe that there will be a quarterback battle for a starter?
Yeah. I already have anxiety about it because here we go again. It's weird you bring that up. I was thinking about it last night. I know it's
me too.
It could get messy because are you going to end up with okay, Buckner's coming back being healthy, but Pine did good, so now they're competing. Are you bringing in a transfer to fill that room? I don't know. What's going to happen with 23 quarterback recruiting? Are you going to get a guy or not? Like, all of this is going to be, you know what it's going to be. It's going to be all summer, the story of what's Notre Dame going to do at quarterback. And I'm not looking forward to it, but I think that's where we're headed, is a big discussion all offseason about this.
I hope not, because where I am optimistic is Drew Pine. I'll admit, I went to the Blue Gold game, John, and he looked like crap.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it was like, oh my goodness.
Hey man, when I was at the Blue and Gold game, I thought Angeli looked good in the Blue and Gold game compared to the other two, to be honest with you.
Right.
He looked like he had a better command of the offense.
I was thinking that Angeli may end up being the starter. Had Tyler Buckner that went, he stubbed his toe on a stair or something like that, and then Drew Pine looked like crap. And then Angeli came out like it was nothing. Wow.
But now let me ask this. Is this fair to Buckner that it's like now half the fan base has moved on from not a natural quarterback, Drew Pine, and we're going to run with that, and then Carr comes behind him and Buckner could go somewhere else? Like, I'm seeing a lot of those messages here and on Twitter. Is that just getting caught up in the moment of what's going on now? Or is that really the dynamic?
It's a dynamic. Look, Buckner, he's had a lot of unlucky things happen.
Yeah. Nonstop. ACL,
3 years of his life.
ACL high school lost a year. COVID high school lost a year. Then you come in and then Notre Dame has the upperclassman transfer and then you sit. Then it's finally going to be your year. You lose a fight with the stairs in the dorm, and then you get your leg all shredded right away. Horrible luck. Horrible. He goes somewhere with Shamrocks as the logo. The guy's the unluckiest guy I've ever heard of.
Exactly.
Shamrock. What good did it do him? What good does these Shamrocks do this guy?
Right. Unfortunately, though, this is just the nature of the, situation, nature of the sport. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you're given chances. And when you are given those chances, you have to shine. You know what I'm saying? And I have to admit that he did not. He did not in those first two games where he started. You know what I'm saying? So, and then it also could be play calling as well. But, what I'm, the product that was on the field when he was there, undisciplined, low point score, it was,
but
it didn't show.
But here's where I can't judge this fairly. The issue is now people are going, oh man, it looks a lot better. Every part of the team has gotten a lot better since Marshall and Ohio State. Like the offensive line. Do we not think that if Buckner was healthy, he would also improve as the team got better? The offensive line is 100% better than it was early in the year. Like that wouldn't have helped
Yeah.
Buckner look better. Like it's helping Pine. Do people really think that? Like you can't ignore that the overall team has gotten better week by week since then. Right?
That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, touche, but that's shoulda, woulda, coulda stuff. I mean,
yeah, rather than what is,
know.
rather than what is. Like they,
We don't- exactly. All we know
That's
is
a
he
good
got
point.
hurt.
That's a good point.
And Drew Pine was tossed in. Yeah, Drew Pine was thrust in, and that little flip he did to
Estime.
to get up out of that situation. It's like those little things. So I will say that I see Drew Pine, getting better every week. He could be like our Stetson Bennett. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because Stetson Bennett is a small guy,
Right.
but he has a masterful control of that offense. He knows what's coming. He sees it.
Yep.
He's super sharp.
And he also
knows.
he has terrific talent to distribute it to. So if you could just manage and be the
That's
maestro and get it to them, you're going to be in good shape. That's why he works so good in that offense. It's beautiful. I love what they have going.
A few other things, John.
Sure.
So I know we can't allow Stanford to get, to use us as their Super Bowl to get back on the good foot.
Yep.
They're 1-4. You know what I'm saying? So we cannot let up. We have to keep our foot on the gas, as the previous couple of callers ago said. I would like to see a blowout, dude. You know what I'm saying? Don't give them any hope. Snatch their heart out from the start.
Yep. And they're already down and out, man.
Give it back to them.
They're already down and out. They're 1-4. Horrible loss on the last play of the game. And they're coming from California to cold, dreary South Bend. Put them out of their misery.
Yes. Put them out to pasture. Exactly. And then to Kent, the troll.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why he's trolling your show all the time. If he's an Ohio State fan, I don't understand.
Me neither, but I think it's a compliment.
Is he a closet Irish fan, John? Is he actually really a closet Irish fan?
I don't know, but he found me when I was doing the Ohio State Notre Dame pregame stuff, and he never left. I think he just likes me, and that's a compliment. Well, I think he just finds me entertaining. And I don't care what team you like. I'm not telling that guy to go away. All right?
I hear you, man. And lastly,
sure.
The LSU game.
Yeah.
The LSU game.
Yeah.
Did you see Brian Kelly turn purple face?
Man, I'm telling you what, it was the highlight of my weekend.
He was yelling at his coaches?
He was just trying to match their uniform colors.
Oh, my goodness. That was so awesome to see, man. You know what I'm saying? I was like, yes, you wanted them, you got them.
Yep.
There you go.
Hey, you got the full Polian special teams nightmare going. You got it all going, baby. You got it all going.
And we saw what happened. He cannot win against a top 10 team. So
they are who we thought they were.
Exactly. All right, John. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for the call. Have a good rest of the week and enjoy the ball games this weekend. Take care, man. Call anytime.
Irish,
call me anytime.
Go Irish.
Take care.
Yep. Bye.
Oh, man, you guys, this is a riot. You guys are fun. 269, you on the line. What's going on?
What's up going on, John?
What's up, man? How are you doing this week? Where's your mind at in regards to Notre Dame athletics?
Well, I mean, not even so much Notre Dame athletics. It was a really weird switch getting home from Vegas at 11:30 Central Time on Sunday, waking up and logging on the computer. It seems like my mind was still in was still in like in Disney World. It felt like.
Yeah, time is an abstract concept out there. That's why there's not a lot of windows or clocks when you're in those casinos. They don't want you to know what time it is or what time of day it is.
Yeah, man, I wanted to rep some always Irish stuff out there to get the people fired up and let them know what's up. we gotta work on something.
I'm telling you, man, I'm working on. Shopify made a deal with YouTube to integrate. So what that means is I can create a full Shopify store with all my merch, integrate it into YouTube so it's right there while you're watching this to click on in YouTube. However, to do it right, there's a lot of building out of that website I need to do. And I'm working on it, but it's just not done yet. And I'd rather hold off till I got it all perfect and integrated into YouTube. Then we'll be off to the races.
Yep, and we'll get those I Love Kent t-shirts going.
Oh, there you go. I love Kent. It'll have a picture of his face with the big shamrock inside of it. It's perfect. I love it. I hope that dude, yep. I hope if he wants to come to South Bend for Ohio State next year when they come to our place, you better believe I'm meeting that guy, giving him a beer, giving him an interview. Like, I'm going to have fun with it. I think him and I would get along.
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
So, hey, let's get into Stanford. How are you looking at this, man? Like, are we asking too much to want a big win, or should we just take what we can get? Which is it?
No, I think we should take. We're asking a big win isn't asking a lot. I think we've hit on a lot of this kind of stuff before, but I wanted to tell a quick story. We were out watching the game in Vegas, and my sister, she's a Notre Dame fan, but she moved to Pittsburgh, and since she's done there, she's followed pro ball with the Steelers a little bit more than Notre Dame, so she hasn't watched a lot of the games this year. And about 10 minutes into the game, she says to me, she's like, does Notre Dame recognize that they have receivers on their team? Like, is that something that we just don't do, is throw to our receivers? And I said to her, you've stumbled upon one of the biggest questions that the fan base has had this year. But it's very interesting that, later on in that game, we started to see a little bit more of that. So, and everyone in that building also, everyone in that building knew where the ball was going to go to Michael Mayer at least 5 or 6 times, and yet it still was very successful.
Yeah, I'm impressed with the Vegas environment. I felt like for a team with 2 losses where we were, this game felt bigger than it probably was in practicality. And I think that translates to be good big game environment experience for the team. So I liked that.
Yep, for sure.
So I don't know. I need us to put David Shaw out of his misery. They're 1-4, put him down. They couldn't even run the ball for 100 yards on Oregon State. They're giving up just under 500 yards a game. It looks like you can run on them. It looks like you could pass on them. Like, I kind of expect us to go in there and play good. Am I outrageous?
No,
but listen to the way you said it, though. But listen to the way you said it. You're like, no. But because you feel that confliction too. I could hear it in your voice. You're like, no. Yeah, but at the same time, kind of.
Right. It's like, I mean, you hit the nail on the head earlier when you're saying it's like, it's not a lot to expect. At the same time, it wasn't that long ago that we lost to Marshall. But it's just such a weird situation with Stanford, and it's really funny because everyone seems to be asking this kind of same questions. It's like, is David Shaw there was a lot of success he had earlier on with teams that Harbaugh built, a lot with he did pretty well on the recruiting trail for a while, and then it just kind of dipped off. And the thing that I think is so weird about it is like they just don't care. I guess that's what trees do. They just stand in the forest and they don't care what else is going on next to them
until there's a fire. That's about it, or a chainsaw.
Yeah, I would say that this is a fire, and it doesn't seem like they care a whole lot.
Listen, why can I ask this? This is going to get off the subject, but why is a place full of smart people like Stanford, Why do they got that dumb logo that's like a cartoon tree that looks dumb as hell with them googly eyes? Why does the band look all dumb all the time? Like, why is all these smart people doing this weird stuff?
I don't know.
I don't
think
get it.
It's just
I don't get it.
it's part of their culture. And one thing that's interesting with the Notre Dame Stanford rivalry is I believe that the Stanford band and the tree and everyone else like that is not allowed to come to Notre Dame Stadium after an incident that happened quite a while ago, and they've it's something that looks like Notre Dame's kind of is looked past. It still won't invite them back, but the culture of the Stanford football team and everything else like that, I have a lot of respect for, and just because of the institution that they are,
Yep.
the guys they put out,
well,
things like,
dude,
but the band is like,
you're right
they're
though.
just-
You are exactly right. I said that in my pregame show I'm putting out tonight. I said the first things first is, yeah, I don't like David Shaw, but I respect them because at least I know those guys actually go to school and can read and write. At least that's something they offer. I respect the hell out of that.
for sure. Yeah, it'll be good. Are you going to the game?
Yep. So I will be there. I'm just not gonna spend the weekend going over early Saturday morning.
Yeah, you'll have to check. Shoot me a text how things are going. I'm sitting this one out.
Well, you know what,
going to
man?
the Bears game
Listen,
on Thursday, so it's a little kind of a lot with what's been going on.
If it's rainy and cold, you know what that does. You've been to enough home games. I'm sorry. If it's rainy and cold, that tailgate scene, people are trying to have fun, but it is muted. There's just no way around it. Nobody likes being cold and wet. Like, it's a vibe killer, and it's a night game. So that could just be an all-day grind if it's cold and wet and people are miserable. I hope that's not the case, but we'll see. On the field, though, it might be better for us to make the California guys miserable, cold and wet. I don't know.
This is something that I literally just kind of thought of how do you think that the weather plays a factor in how we distribute the carries between the three running backs? I would have to think that it would be more estimate heavy. But then again, I don't know. Just kind of want to know your take on that.
Yeah, well, I think if you're looking at the running backs specifically with carries, then I think you could do a lot of what you've been doing. Where I think it gets interesting is if you have this weird weather, it's windy and wet, are you going to be able to use those guys in the short passing game the way we want to? Like, how will that change the dynamic there? I also think you should be able to snap the ball, hand it to Estime, and just pound the ball. But that's just me. I just think you should be able to.
Agreed.
It doesn't have to be that hard, man. He's an animal. If you have cold, rainy weather, power run the ball. Let him run people over. Let him run these smart kids over.
Yeah, smart guy running over a smarter guy running over a smart guy.
Yeah, exactly. But man, I love the way that guy runs. I'm excited. That's a guy that could become a leader of this program. He has a different mentality. Nothing's good enough. There's always more to get, things better to do. His mentality is unbelievable. I want him to emerge as a leader on the team.
Yep. One final question. I know we're kind of getting down to the wire here, but there's just something that I had kind of thought about recently as well too. With, Drew Pye is getting quite a bit of attention. He really is. And imagine that. It's like it's been a recruiting tool. I feel like for so long. There's one of the most eyes out of any spot in even organized sports is the quarterback at Notre Dame, and recently we haven't had a whole lot of, it's more been a talking point, and it's been, there hasn't really been the show me kind of behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Ian Book had a little bit, but I still don't think it was to the level of what it could be. And now that Drew Pye he's getting quite a bit of talk, so I'm curious how that plays in as a factor in terms of getting a 2023 quarterback. If CJ doesn't reclassify, how does that attract, potentially a grad transfer? Is that does that kind of defer a grad transfer with seeing success quarterback? There's really a lot of factors at play there with what's going on, but the bottom line is it can't be bad unless it affects play. The more attention, I think that it's only gonna be a more enticing sort of situation to go into. No?
Yeah, man, this is so interesting. It's like the one thing Kelly was supposed to be best at, but then he never figured it out. And it's still, even though it's going good now with Pine, as good as it probably could be going, you're going to have big decisions to make. And I need Freeman, I need Marcus to have a clear vision of what he wants this to look like, because you cannot end up in a situation where there's a miscommunication or multiple guys think something and something else happens. Like, are we going to have it's Drew Pine's job next year if he plays this good the rest of the year? Or is it a competition between him and Buckner? Do they bring in a transfer? Does that make one of them guys mad? What happens with 2023? Are you going to get a guy or not? Like, I don't know what's going to happen. Maybe the best thing we could do is wait and see the end of the rest of the year and make sure Pine keeps getting better and better and better.
That is the key.
Yeah.
That is the key because, I mean, if he, let's say he wins out, we split Clemson and USC, doesn't matter which. I mean, that's a really, really good spot to be in. If you're Drew Pine.
Especially considering the roster and some of the skill talent he would do it with. Doing that with that wide receiver group and the way of what, that'd be terrific. He's doing a great job, man. He's doing a great job.
Great dude too. Though.
Yep.
I've met him one time. He's awesome.
Yep. Just he's a guy everybody wants to see win. Tough guy, tough kid. It's beautiful. So I don't know, man. We'll see. But if it's cold and rainy, I don't think them Stanford boys coming off 1-4 want to fly all the way to South Bend and freeze their butts off all day. I hope they're miserable, and I hope we make them more miserable.
They're more used to rain than USC is, though. But
yeah,
it's not cold.
Yeah, that's true. So I don't know, man, but it's going to be interesting. I'm going to be over there. I'm interested to see what the vibe is. I expect it to be significantly improved from the Cal game vibe where we were all tailgating before mom's funeral. I don't think it'll be that bad.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
all right, Don, you take it easy. I always appreciate you taking my call and chatting it up.
Oh, no problem, man. And I appreciate you calling. And it's always good to see you at all these events in South Bend. We've been overlapping a lot over there, and it's good to meet your family. You guys are great.
For sure. You take it easy.
We'll see you, man. Thanks for the call as always. Appreciate it. Okay, we got a couple more calls. I want to get anybody who calls, I'm going to try and get them in before the show ends. So we're going to go 574 next, 937 after that. Paul Conley, $5 holler. John, do you get fair compensation with YouTube? All the commercials are annoying, but I can handle it if you get compensated. I wouldn't say it's fair compensation for the amount of work that goes into YouTube. But I got to tell you, Paul, all those annoying commercials, that's how I make money off this. Every time those commercials run, then that's how it all comes through and benefits me. If there was no financial incentive to me at all to be compensated for the work, I wouldn't make you sit through them. But that's kind of the way it goes. So, let's see. Oh, I lost a caller. Sorry, caller, you dropped off. So I'm not going to say it's fair with YouTube. And then also, whatever money goes in my pile of YouTube, they get 30%. You got to understand that. Whether it's super chats or just from watching the videos, they take 30% off the top for letting me do this. So it's a tricky little economy in YouTube, and you got to know how to navigate it to make it work for you. Appreciate the interest in knowing how that works, though. 937, you're in heaven. Give me a good call.
Hey, John, this is your favorite Buckeye fan from the Dayton area. How are you doing?
What's going on, man? I got Kent in here. Kent's on your side, Ohio State guy, but he likes Johnny. He can't break up with me, even though you guys aren't playing us every week.
I'm like, if what you say about Ken is true, it's true for me. I think you're a great personality.
I appreciate that. I think that's
why I keep listening.
You know what, man? That's a big compliment. Like, it's one thing for lunatic Notre Dame fans to want to be here, but for a couple of you guys to be outside the fan base and just find it entertaining, that means a lot to me, honestly. So thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, John, I hope you would eventually maybe talk a little bit more about the broader landscape. But real quick, just to keep it to Notre Dame today.
And by the way, I am always interested in fans of other teams' perspectives of Notre Dame, as long as they are fair and not just hit pieces because you don't like Notre Dame. But it's really good to have that outside perspective for somebody who doesn't have the emotions tied to it. Somebody like me and our followers have. So I'd love to hear what you got in mind. What are you seeing?
Well, so this is what I'm thinking. So, the first and second game, it wasn't great for Notre Dame, but I have to say this, and this is something we're seeing a trend with the Buckeyes. Every team so far this year that has played Ohio State has lost the next game, whether they're a decent team or not. So I just think, take that for what it's worth. I think right now, if you play the Buckeyes, it's almost like a two-loss scenario. Because I think what's happening is they're just beating teams up, and then the next week they just can't get up to snuff. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I don't know if you've heard that or not.
Yeah.
That
makes sense. Yeah.
The other thing that I wanted to talk about was Drew Pine. I know I brought this up before. It will be really interesting to see next year who the quarterback's going to be between Pine and Buckner. But I think if you want to beat the Buckeyes next year, you're going to need either Buckner to really step up, or you're going to need a transfer to come in. And there's a couple of guys that are out there. I told you about the Toledo quarterback. I think that guy's a stud. Honestly, if when Stroud leaves this year for the Buckeyes, I would love to see if he was on Ohio State. The dude's a real baller. And you look at their scores; they score a lot of points. Especially when they play teams that are their own at their own level. The other guy that is kind of a possibility out there, I could see if it goes south, is the quarterback for Clemson. I've heard some rumors out there that there's a possibility he's going to be transferring at the end of the year. Now, where to? I'm not.
Who?
Sure,
DJ Ukulele?
Yes.
I have not heard that. What, is he not happy with how that offense is put together for him out there, or what? Or did they love the young quarterback guy, the young quarterback recruit? What is it, Klubnik or whatever? Do they love him? What's the deal out there then?
Yeah.
What's that rumor?
Yeah. So this is the inside information. So inside as it could be.
Yeah.
From what I hear, Ohio State's after his son, the brother, who's the defensive end.
Yep.
And from what has been told to them is that they're super unimpressed with Clemson and their development process. And the father really wants a place that can develop pros. So, and he feels like his son is not being developed to his highest ability. At least that's what all the rumors are on the Ohio State boards.
But now, couldn't you be like, isn't there a body of evidence they do a pretty good job at that? Like, nobody's saying Lawrence didn't develop. Like, is that fair?
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I agree with that, but for whatever reason, that's what kind of the rumblings are. And also, I know earlier in the season there were rumblings to put Klubnik in over his son. So.
Yeah.
So I do know that. So I think that he's a possible guy, a big name that could be out there at the end of the year. I'm not saying he would go to Notre Dame. I have no idea.
Right.
That, but I'm just. And then real quick, I just want to say this weekend I took my first road game since COVID, and I went up to Michigan State's campus. I have to say I don't know if you've been there, but I know their fans are we're a little bit, how should I say this? Their level of expectations for the season obviously were in decline, but everybody out there was super nice to us and to my son and my father. So I just wanted a shout out to that fan base, and they all wanted the Buckeyes to beat Michigan at the end of the year. So
yeah, and you know what else? You know what else?
one.
You know what somebody put in the chat? I don't know if you saw it. You were talking about kind of some of that physical hangover or whatever that happens after the week after you play Ohio State, and they're a physical team. That makes sense. Somebody wrote that in that case, they wish Michigan had an extra game after they play you. So they could get a loss from you and then go play somebody else and be beat up and take a loss there too.
Well, they almost always lose their bowl game. So
yeah, you're just going to have to wait a month for it. Yeah, you're just going to have to wait.
Yes.
Yeah. But are you enjoying the bye week? Like, is that a big deal for you to be able to relax and just have a breather week to watch everybody else? Or are you the type of guy that you want that stress every damn Saturday and you need it?
Well, you know what? I would say right now that as far as the team, we have some injuries I'd like to get healed up by Penn State week, which is in 2 weeks. We have Iowa next week after the bye. And I think we could probably walk in there with our second string and outscore Iowa.
I mean, will they even score? Will they even score? I am not kidding. Will they even score a point? Will they score 1 point?
How that guy still has a job there, I have no idea. But real quick, I think for this week, I'm actually super excited for the week to not watch the Buckeyes. There are some unbelievable games.
It's a good game to have your team have a bye because you could sit back stress-free, crack a cold one all day and watch everything else because there's a lot going on. And that's actually one negative of me being in South Bend this week is that means you kind of miss seeing all that other action,
Yeah. Hopefully your tailgate or wherever you're at will have some TVs and you'll be able to at least catch a quarter or something out of the games. But Michigan and Penn State and then Tennessee, Alabama, that's just going to be some really, really good football. And then USC playing Utah. It'll be interesting to see if USC's defenses can hold Utah down or if their defense is like water, kind of like, really porous.
Yeah, and you know what else, man? You know what I got to admit? I tweeted this, and it did not go over well last night. I really enjoy watching Tennessee play. They're fun and exciting, and I'm not used to that from them. And it's fun, and maybe I enjoyed it more because it was at Brian Kelly's expense last week. But they're really, they're like, I admit that I might have enjoyed it a little more for that reason. But they're fun and exciting, and it's like I'm not used to it. And people were like, damn it, John, don't make me admit it. Like nobody wants to admit that they're exciting right now.
If they beat Alabama, then watch out. That quarterback will be the Heisman favorite for them or for maybe the year, which is saying a lot. I think having a storyline of being a program that hasn't met expectations for 25 years and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, it's going to be hard to beat that for C.J. Stroud, even if he had a great season. I think they would still give the award to Tennessee's quarterback.
Yeah, and it's like even though people don't like Alabama, like because they've been so good, we want them to lose. People also don't like Tennessee just because it's Tennessee. So it's like something's got to give Saturday.
Hey, next year when the Buckeyes play Notre Dame, if you're up there, I wanna meet you. I'm gonna try to make it to the game even if I don't have a ticket.
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. Here's the deal, man. I gotta hook up with what has to be the best tailgate set up there. Full bar, parked on the edge of a parking lot where you're you're 2 feet in or out. We have a big section, full bar. these guys own a pizza place in South Bend. Once an hour on the hour, one of their delivery guys brings pizzas all day, full bar, music, like it is fun. We're going to be there. I'm going to fly the flag. I'll let everybody know where it is. You can't miss it. You'll see my flag, and then everybody come by. I want Kent. I want you. You just can't cause any problems with my Irish people. How about that?
I will.
No, I know. You guys are cool.
I'll bring my boy with me.
No, you.
And we'll sing the "Don't Give a Damn" for the Michigan song just for you.
Yeah, there you go. But I'm definitely gonna be there, and it'll be fun. And I'm gonna have one spot set up where I could let everybody know, and then everybody could come and have a beer, and it'll be fun. It'll be good.
Awesome. Well, I'll talk to you in a couple weeks.
Perfect. Oh, hey, one more thing I wanted to finish with you. You said it would be good if I could branch out a little bit. Think about this. Think about if Notre Dame ended up joining the Big Ten sometime down the road, what kind of avenues that would allow as far as my content. It would open up all the Big Ten storylines to also applying to us. Like that appeals to me in that way. It opens up a lot of content avenues.
Yeah. Could you imagine this year if you were in the Big Ten West, you'd probably be leading at 2-2. I mean, look, Nebraska's leading in the Big Ten West. There's a chance they could win the Big Ten West, and they're terrible.
Yeah, it's wild. Hey, is there ever a point?
Could you imagine getting to play Ohio State again in the finals?
Let me ask you this.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you this. Is there any possibility of the Big Ten doing away with divisions the way the Big 12 did and that a lot of ACC people are talking about? Or is there just so much history here that's not in the cards?
So this is what I think. I think there was prior to adding USC and UCLA. Now that the conference is getting so big, you have to have divisions because it's going to be the schedules are going to be so, they're so uncomparable. Like a Nebraska who doesn't, or let's see here, Minnesota. They don't have to play Michigan or Ohio State this year.
Yep.
So they get to avoid two of the big three teams, and it's just so uncomparable. I think you have to have divisions, and I think eventually when Notre Dame and Stanford and you guys are a conference with us, there's gonna be a 4-division conference, and then we're gonna have 2 games at the end to determine everything. And I'm thinking week 12. What's going to happen is week 12 will be a variable week where it's basically going to be you'll play 8 or 9 conference games. That week 12 will be one versus one of the other conference, and then the week after that will be the winners of that little bracket. But it will be also good for the lower teams because you'll have like 4 versus 4 on the other bracket.
Right.
I think that makes a lot of sense, and it'll help teams that maybe need to make a bowl game actually make a bowl game. So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot that's still going to shake out and shift, and I'm interested to see how it's all going to go. But man, I really appreciate the call, and I want you to enjoy your week off. You have a really exciting team. Enjoy taking a week and enjoy everybody else stressing out.
Yeah, thank you, and have a good week too.
Thanks a lot, man. Call anytime. I like having people, other teams that are still fair and open-minded. One more call, 574. Let's do it. Local to Notre Dame, right?
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning?
What's going on, man? How are you? It's been a while since you've been able to call in. What's new?
Not a lot. Just out here working, delivering people's mail and packages. But getting excited for this weekend. Seems like it's been a while since I've been at a game. I missed the Cal game, so I have not been there since the Marshall game, and that was not a game I would like to remember. So
yep,
I'm glad to get back in the stadium.
Hey, man, I feel like we're trending up. Do you feel that way? Like I feel like there's a little momentum building. I feel like Pine and Freeman are settling in, and I feel like Notre Dame's in a position to be able to come out and do some exciting things Saturday. Am I wrong for that?
No, I completely agree. I have not watched much of Stanford, but I have followed them just a little bit, and they do not look like a very good team this year.
I mean,
So
they're
I hope
they're
we
1-4, 1-4, horrible last second bad defensive play loss at the end in the middle of the night, Saturday night. Like they are as down as you could possibly be without totally being out. And I want Notre Dame to drive the stake through Shaw's smile and end it. End it.
Yes, I agree. I hope we come out firing and put up a lot of points on Saturday night.
How proud are you? How
I
proud
wanted
are
to
you
mention
at Drew Pine? By the way, can I ask that? How proud are you of him? I think he's doing a great job.
Yes, I do. Think he's doing a great job. I was a big Buckner fan just because I like his potential, but I don't know. I feel like
Pine's a gamer. Pine's a gamer.
He is, but he has not played very much since like his sophomore year of high school. So did we take a huge chance on him, or he just had really bad luck and keeps getting injured and just can't show what he really can do?
He just has the worst luck of anybody. I mean, he's had like ACL, COVID, sitting behind Cone, the walking Statue of Liberty, fight with the stairs and the blue and gold, and then this. The guy's like 0 for 6. Luck of the Irish, my ass. The guy can't catch up. He can't catch a break unless it's in a bone in his leg. It's rough.
I wanted to mention, as one of the callers said earlier about the weather, I have been following the weather all week, and I do not see any rain in the forecast. So
I thought it looked clear, dude. I thought it looked like 50s, but kind of not rainy to me. But I didn't know if that changed. I thought it looked like it was going to be dry too. So I don't know what to make of it.
Yeah, I just checked about 5 minutes ago, and so it's 20% chance of rain on Saturday. So I think hopefully we'll be okay with that. But yes, it will be 50s or 40s. So a little bit chilly, but I'll take that over rain.
Hey,
so.
Those California boys don't like that cold weather that much, do they?
I would guess not. I don't know. I've only been to California once, but
let me ask you this. Let me ask you this question. If you're looking at this ball game Saturday from a Notre Dame fan angle, what is the one thing you want to see improved the most from last week to this game? Is it something with the offense, or do you want to see the defense shore up some of them big lapses? Like, what's your number one area of improvement you want to see this week?
I would definitely say the defense in the second half, because about 3 games now under Freeman that we've had big leads and just let it go away in the second half. Other teams just come out and strategize at halftime, and we don't change anything, and they catch us off guard. So I would definitely like the defense to be solid throughout the whole game and not just in the first half.
Yeah, and I think that it's tough, man. You look at them giving up like 20 points, and you're like, all right, I have all these complaints about the defense, and you gave up 3rd and 17 run play for the first down and all that. And then it ends up being 20 points at the end, and it's hard to be that mad at any result that ends in 20 points. But also,
that is true.
But you also need to clean it up, because if you make those mistakes against Clemson and USC, you have no shot to beat them, right? Like, so both can be true at the same time. But I need them to clean it up a little bit.
Yeah. Offense, obviously the wide receivers can get going a little more and spread out the ball a little more. Besides just Michael Mayer, he is a beast, but teams are going to start keying in on that and try to slow him down. So I like seeing Thomas develop a little bit. That was exciting to see somebody else step up.
Yeah, and it is really nice to see them emerge, and you're going to need that. And the more guys that can emerge now, the better off this is all going to be when the reinforcements and the recruits the next 2 years come in. And so if you could do whatever you can to get it going with what you have and then add those guys, you could flip a weakness into a strength in that wide receiver room in 1 to 2 years. No problem. No problem. I don't think we're going to have this complaint in 2 years. Do you?
No, I do not.
Me neither.
Yeah, some massive weapons coming, and hopefully. There you go, sir. Have a good day. Sorry about that.
That's okay. I don't want to stop you, mate, when you're doing your job, man. You're doing 2 things at once. I like that. Multitask.
No, some of those weapons coming in are definitely exciting. I've been following them just through Twitter and stuff and watching some of their highlights, and they look like they can definitely turn us around very quickly.
Yep. And so the path is here, man, to be able to continue this winning streak, knock off Stanford, knock off UNLV, get prepared for a weird dynamic in the Carrier Dome against Syracuse, build it all up so November 5th is a big damn deal against Clemson.
Yeah, that game I'm definitely excited for, since most of us were not able to attend it last time they came to town.
Yep. And by the way, man, I will be in town all weekend again. I want to go out. I want to meet with people on Friday. I got all Saturday. Like we could do the tailgate thing. Like that's going to be a thing. So I am very excited about that weekend.
Perfect. One tailgate that I've not been to yet, and I would like to extend an invite to you also. His name's Chris. He's on Twitter. He's a big painter. They have from what I understand, it's like a garage off Eddy Street that he has painted the whole thing, and they have a whole bunch of memorabilia and just do the whole shebang out there. So
that's awesome.
Anybody's welcome to come by there. They always have catered in food, a big thing going on.
Beautiful.
So we should definitely check that out.
Yep. Hey, we'll get in that big text thread with all you guys that are local and figure out our plan when we get closer to that week.
Yes.
Beautiful.
One thing I did want to mention is,
go ahead.
JD Bertrand, he is, I don't know.
It's weird.
The wrong way this season for.
It's weird.
Yeah,
Is it not weird? Why do I feel like we played better when he was suspended for the targeting, and then right when he came back the second half, everything over the middle opened up? Why am I wrong in feeling that that's what happened, or am I being mean to the guy?
No,
I feel like right when he came back, it got worse.
Yeah, I like Prince Collie a
Me
lot.
too.
I would just like to see him get a lot more playing time.
Me too. But you're not dreaming that is how it seems to have gone. Like that's how I feel it. So I don't know, man. But we'll see. I think we're going to find a way to beat the tree here and then keep it rolling.
All right. Sounds good. I will text you this weekend and meet up with you at some point Saturday.
Beautiful. Fantastic. I'll be around early in the day, and then I don't know where I'm going. I have people to meet here, people to meet there. I have a bit I want to do for the show and record, so I need to go do certain things in the tailgate area. I want to record a segment. So I got a few things going on, but we'll just all meet up somewhere neutral where we're all by.
Okay. Sounds good.
Beautiful. We'll talk to you, my friend. Safe day out there. Hard at work.
Yep. See you later.
Later. Oh, boy, man. I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. But I feel like this week, this show has more energy, and it isn't me, it's you guys. So I really appreciate it. People are engaged. I think that Notre Dame excitement's starting to creep back in. Kent, great show. Thanks. Telling people to like the video. Kent, you have the best dynamic. It's like you're nice, but also piss people off. Like he's tight roping right on that line. Like nice, but still kind of like being a Notre Dame hater. It's a great dynamic. Thank you, everybody. All the super chats, all the birthday wishes, all of it, man. You guys are great. I say it all the time. Not only just the radio show, there is no Always Irish at all without you guys. So I really appreciate everybody being here. Even the trolls, I appreciate you being here. So thanks a lot, folks. So we're going to finish this, and then I got a few regular episodes to record because I got a lot of content to put out before the end of the week. You guys all have a good day. If you're in the area I'm in, be safe. The weather's a little wild today. Safe out there. Take care, everybody. Have a good day.